Hey guys, welcome to part 1 of 2021 trends for Instagram and TikTok. Let's get started. Let's start with Instagram. So with the new Instagram algorithm change, Instagram no longer prioritizes likes and comments. It instead prioritizes two other things, and those are DMs, aka shares, and saves. So what this means is that Instagram is looking at how people are interacting with your post. Are people sharing it with their friends over DM? Are people saving it because they want to come back to it later? They want people to interact with your post. So the more that people do, the more likely they are to push it out to more people. So what you want to do is make sure that you're creating content that is savable and shareable. So the reason for the changes is because Instagram's #1 goal is to make money. And they want people to stay on their app longer, because the longer that someone's on their app, the more likely they'll be able to push out more ads and then therefore make money off those ads. It only takes about 2 seconds to like someone's post, but what takes a little bit longer is DMing it to your friend. So the more that people are interacting with your post, the more likely that your post will blow up. So here is the order that Instagram prioritizes your post based on these 4 items. So some strategies to create engaging content. What you can first do is create long captions, because the longer that people take to read the caption, the longer that they're on your post and therefore interacting with your post for a longer period of time. They're on the app more. Instagram will see that as a reason to push your content out. You could also do things like ask questions and create polls, especially in your stories, because it takes longer for people to interact with those types of questions where they're responding to you. You can also include phrases like tag a friend who needs this in her life, or tag a friend who would wear this. And that way it inspires your audience to share the post with their friends. Our main goal on all social media platforms is to provide value to our audience. We want to provide value to strangers, because why else would strangers care about what we're posting? Some of the ways that we can do this are by creating content that is either educational, we can post tutorials, we can create content that is highly entertaining and draws them in, or we can create inspirational content that makes them feel emotions. And then lastly, we can also share behind the scenes of our businesses. The goal and the key is to create killer content. Making your content interesting is key. Killer content is key. But what we can also do is make our content interactable. So the more people that interact with our content, the more likely our content is to blow up. Now, how many times do I recommend posting on Instagram a week? Well, my strategy is either the 3-3-5 rule or the 3-3-10 rule. Both can work, and let me tell you how to go about it. So when it comes to posting on your feed, you want to post on your feed at least 3 times per week. And then in addition to that, you also want to post 3 reels per week. And then lastly, you want to be posting 5 Instagram stories per day. Now 10 is better. 10 will help you out tremendously. But I know that this can be overwhelming to a lot of people who aren't used to posting that frequently. So start with 5 if you have to, but try to work your way up to 10 story posts per day. Now I know that this can be challenging, and I often slack on all of this with my own social media accounts. But let me tell you, it works. The more you put in, the more you're going to get out. And one quick tip is that you don't have to stress so much, especially when it comes to your stories. You don't have to create perfect stories every single day. You just want to get in the habit of posting and creating content that provides value. So don't wait for perfection. If you wait for perfection, that day may never come. Get in the habit of practicing, posting, learning, sharing, and growing. The more you do, the more you're going to get out. Think about what your audience's pain points are, and then create content on it. Here are a couple additional tips to help you out with your stories. You can add 7 hashtags to each story, and what you can do is minimize these hashtags to look very small so they won't be seen by your audience. You can also add your location. And by adding both hashtags and your location, your content will get displayed in more places, and that way more people will see your content, more likely to go viral. So let's both commit right now. Let's commit to posting on our stories 5 to 10 times a day, 3 reels, and 3 feed posts per week. Now, if you need an accountability partner, feel free to DM me on Instagram and I've got your back. Now let's talk about Instagram Reels. So Instagram is competing hard with TikTok right now. So they want you to use their Reels. They want people to leave TikTok and come back to Instagram. So anytime that Instagram comes out with a new feature, you need to hop on it because Instagram has been known to promote content of people who are using their new features. So from now on, moving forward, anytime Instagram comes out with a new feature, at least try it out. And you might be surprised that all of a sudden your content's going viral because you're using their new features. Now, I often get asked, can I post my TikTok videos to my Instagram Reels? And the answer is yes and no. So Instagram has made it clear they do not want people to post videos that have the TikTok watermark on Instagram. What they say is that they don't want recycled content on their app. Now that is annoying. So here's a pro tip of how to get around this. When you are about to post your video to TikTok, you want to record your video. So before you've published it and it's still in draft and you're watching it go on the loop, you can click the record button, and I'll show you how to on an iPhone, and let your video play through, and then it will save to your camera roll, and you'll just go in your camera roll and make sure you can tweak it to make it start and end at the right time, and then post that video to your Instagram reel, and the watermark won't be there. So, nice little tip to get around this rule. Now, another question that I often get asked is how often I should be posting about myself on my business as a small business owner. Well, in the beginning, your main goal is to provide value to your audience. So I like to think of this as like the 80-20 rule. Focus on providing value and showcasing your products and creating tutorials 80% of the time, but then 20% of the time you can share information about yourself, especially in your stories. I think that you can get away with sharing more about yourself in your stories, and that's also a great way to allow your audience to connect with you on a deeper level and get to know you. And then the more of a following you gain and the bigger of an audience that you have, that's when you can start posting more about yourself on a more regular basis. So a couple of ideas about how to go about showing yourself more in your business. You can show behind the scenes, talk about the process you take to get your products out the door, how you source your inventory, stuff like that. Or you can also tell your story. So that's something that has worked very well this year, especially if it's one of those aspirational stories where you quit your job and started your dream business, and here's what happened. Those types of stories have been doing really well. But now let's talk about captions on Instagram. So what should you include in your Instagram captions? Now, if you're an online clothing store owner, I recommend keeping it simple and not stressing about captions too much. I think we can all get caught up in captions a lot, but if you look at a lot of the big retailers, they aren't really putting too much effort into their captions. A lot of the time they're just listing the name of the product. So don't stress it too much. If you have something cute and funny to share, do it. But if not, don't stress it, just post. Another pro tip is that you want to make sure that you add alt text to all of your posts. So I'll share how to do that here, but the reason for this is, one, it kind of helps with SEO. It lets Instagram know what's in the photo, and that way it can help promote that post to the right people who would care about what's in the photo. But two, it also helps those who are impaired, have a disability. We want to make sure that we are supporting that population, and Instagram is really pushing for us too. So another great strategy, another feature you can use on Instagram. You also want to make sure that you have your Instagram highlight reels. You want to fill the page. So it's about 6 highlight covers that will fill the page on your profile. And you want to make sure they all match and look nice. But that brings me to another point. The overly curated Instagram feed is starting to lose its appeal. So don't get me wrong, people still want you to have a nice looking Instagram feed, but people are starting to prioritize or favor authenticity and realness over the overly curated feed. So you still want to make sure that you make it look nice and have it look cohesive, but don't stress it so much. A couple of years ago, everyone thought you had to have the most amazing aesthetically pleasing feed, but now we're kind of shifting back towards this idea that we want people to be real. We don't want them to be fake and feel fake. We don't need perfection. We just want people to be genuine and sincere. So when you're creating your feed, don't stress. Just do what feels right and makes sense for your brand. Now here are a couple of apps that you can use to help you plan your post and make your feed look the way you want it to. So now on to my last 2 questions of part 1 of this video. What time should I post? I often get asked this question. Well, what you can do is actually look at your analytics. If you have a business account, make sure you have a business account, and see what time people are on the app, what time your followers are on the app the most, and this will vary by day, so take a look at it per day, and then post 1 hour before that time. And that way, you'll get the most people to see your post. And now on to my last question of the day, and it is, what should I include in my bio? Well, I recommend you explain how you provide value to your customers, and do so by following the following format. I help X do Y. An example of this could be, I help mothers find non-toxic products for their babies. Shop onesies now. So you explain how you provide value, and then you included a call to action, and you're good to go. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure you subscribe to check out part 2, which is all about 2021 TikTok trends. P.S. So I had my hair and makeup trial today for my wedding, so that's why my hair looks a little bit fancy. Let me show you the back and the side. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is how I should do my hair for my wedding?